yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome, everybody. We are getting down. Feedback stream 65. You know what it is. Reviewing tracks. We're going to see if it's loud, if it's banging, if it got the goods. We're going to check for everything. We have about 16, I think, submissions, and we're going to get started with number one. Actually, number one was a broken link, unfortunately. So if you want to re-upload, dude, you can re-upload your track. So we're going to have to go straight on to Hermes. Take a look at me. You know what it is. Let's get it done for the get done. I hope you guys enjoy. Comment in the chat if you have any questions. Let's run this. Nice. Take a look at me. By Hermes or Hermes. Who knows how you say it, but it's getting it done. Take a look at me. This actually is a good, pretty decent idea. The music theory that you have involved, all the progression of the chords and the progression of your notes and melodies feels really good. The only thing about this is like, when we're listening, we want to be able to let a lot of your main leads shine. So in a lot of the sections, it's almost like it's congested with a lot of basses playing at the same time. So it's hard to focus on just one bass. We really need there to be like a spotlight on one of the basses. It's like the star of the show. It wants the spotlight. And that means all the other basses have to be EQ'd and mixed in a way to kind of carve out frequencies so that the main star is shining while the other ones are kind of like in the background or just supporting. If they're all playing at the same time, trying to compete for space, it becomes hard to listen to. A lot of dissonance starts to get involved, and we want to make sure that there's just a nice focus. So we want there to be a clean mix. And one of the reasons why it starts to get muddy too is like the ambience and the background noises are very loud compared to the leads, the bass leads. Those need to be EQ'd and turned down so that, once again, the basses are up front and center. We want them to be up front in the mix so that it can feel like they're very heavy and powerful. Right now, they don't feel heavy and powerful. Even though you have really good structure in most, sometimes in some sections, you are losing flow. These basses start to get erratic, and it's almost like too many basses are happening, and they seem a little bit jumbled up, rather than having like a strong flow, like a 4-bar structure, 8-bar structure. So I'm looking into that. And then other sections like this, these are better with the flow. You're messing with dynamics here. You got a nice wub. You have some fills. Now you can step it up by just adding like an extra call. You're kind of just like going straight into the main motif, and it's fine, you know, but if you want to add more energy and make people dance harder, you would want there to be more movement within your 4-bar phrases. And the opposite, you want to make sure you simplify your 4-bar phrases and make sure that they're not going too erratic. EQ really is everything here. Lots of frequencies are being stacked on top of each other when they shouldn't be. And also a lot of reverb is being stacked on top of each other. So it's like the sides are crowded as well. And it's just a congested mix. Like I said, we need to make sure lots of EQ is done. Things are split in the stereo image properly. And that will make a huge difference. It'll let your sounds pop out so we can feel the full power. So right now they seem dulled and not full intensity. That's an issue. The vocals though are really good, man. And like the overall vibe and the feeling of the song is really good. So if this was taken to that next level, it would make a big difference. It's good though. Good job. Take a look at me. Hermes. Scaniel. Up next, ID 83. I'm aware the intro does not fit. I'm aware the intro does not fit. Okay, interesting. Let's see what's going down. Scaniel ID 83. cool. Scaniel ID 83. I'm aware the intro doesn't fit. Honestly, I could barely even tell that the intro was that off. We got some tear out guns in here. We got some crazy tear out. Honestly, this is really, really loud. We're coming at like -1 LUF, which is just ear damaging loud. And if we're that loud, it has to be clean. We can easily add unwanted, harsh, piercing frequencies to our mix. And on top of that, we can stack them on top of each other, which is what's happening here. And it becomes very hard to listen to. It literally becomes noise. And we don't want to be making just noise for the drop. It needs to be like structured noise and like dynamic noise. And it can't be a straight line. When we zoom out, it's completely bricked this because it's just clipping very, very heavily, very loud. It's good to be loud, but that's not the whole goal here. Loud does not mean it sounds good. We want the dynamics make it sound good. So what do I mean by that? It's super loud in the buildup, and then it gets quiet in the pre-drop, and then boom, it gets loud again in the drop and becomes more powerful. That dynamic shift is everything. And that's why we do the fills, 4-bar fills, lots of dynamic shifts. When we zoom out, we should see at least some type of shift in dynamics where it gets quieter, but it doesn't. It's just basically super loud the whole time. And that's going to cause an issue. This little break, when it's a snare and it just breaks down, that's just not enough. We need there to be dynamic shifts first off, and then we also need there to be dynamics within your layer stack. If you're just clipping everything and compressing things too heavily, it's going to do this. It'll kill your dynamics. So, I mean, OTT is notorious for this. You have to learn how to control the OTT. As you guys know, OTT is very sensitive and powerful, and it can completely destroy your sound. So you have to be careful with overall compression use. We want to be able to listen to these tracks for sure. We don't want to be able to damage our hearing when we're trying to listen to it. So please, for heaven's sake, get that thing down. -3 LUFs should be your maximum. And that -3 LUFs, just so you know, is ear damaging loud. We shouldn't even be making music that loud. Regular dubstep is like -6 LUFs. Of the Trees is he's making dubstep and touring the world off of -10, -9 LUFs dubstep. So we have a lot of range to work with. So use it. It'll be important, main. You know what to do, main. Warm Nights. Bounce, edit. Let's see who it is. Eek Beats. What you know about it? Let's go ahead and get it done. Eek Beats, bounce, edit. Run it. Oof. What? Thank you for becoming a member. You're a boss. It's a vibe. Yeah, I do these every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Nice. Eek beats, warm nights, bounce at it. That was pretty vibey, honestly. There was a lot of cool feelings that I got. Unfortunately, though, as soon as it starts, you can kind of tell that it might be hard for you to tell, but it's pretty obvious that it sounds off key, like the basses and the lows. So, like, we're starting with the lows. And then we go into our riff. But this riff does not sound in key with the bass that's playing, which is a huge issue. Because of that, it's not in harmony. We don't have perfect resonating vibrations stacking on top of each other. So because they're not perfect vibrations resonating, we don't get lost in space and time, and we don't get put in that ethereal realm that feels so intense, and you literally forget that you're listening to music. You just get boom, lost. But with this, you can't get in there because there's a lot of tension and dissonance being created because the notes are not in perfect harmony. So you need to double check the sub, the bass, the synthesizer, the sampler, and make sure it's tuned perfectly. Whip out your tuner if you need to, so you can see exactly what note is playing for your sub frequencies. And also, if you already know what your sub is, then make sure that sample is tuned properly. Just because they say it's D or C or F, if just because they label it that doesn't mean it's right. You know, they could have labeled it wrong, you know, so you want to use like AI key detection software. Like if you have a full song, usually your key detectors will find it. You can put in key finder or mixed in key. Samples work too. You want to start using these tools to try to figure out what pitch it is, because sometimes the pitch is wrong or something weird's happening. So you got to do like investigation and make sure it's perfect. So also the vibes of this is nice, but it's so long. And by the time it builds, it feels very awkward building this long. It's been about 1:40. And for us to wait this long, it feels like this isn't an EDM song. It feels like it's more just like a beat. And then maybe like this is just a last minute build up followed into the beat again. So if this is EDM, you need to make sure that there's like song structure. We're DJing this music, and when we're up and mixing and transitioning these songs in the club and the festivals, we have to be able to have perfect 8 bars, 4 bars song structure so that we can set our cues properly and mix into songs. But if there's just long extended sections, it's going to make your song, 1, harder to listen to for the short attention span people, and 2, harder to mix if you don't get your time perfectly. So just make sure timing's good. We want there to be a buildup of energy. The energy is all that we're working here. We got to work it. And if you keep this extending too long, energy starts to decrease over time. And by the time we're at the build, it's very low energy. When we should play this maybe half the length. So you see it's about 4 sections here. Maybe go half, then start breaking it down, then start building it up, and maybe shorten it. Use reference tracks too. Your favorite songs that you listen to, EDM, put them in Ableton. Look at how long their phrases are and their sections are, and notice how they're like very separate from each other, and you'll be able to work on your flow and your transitions when you're building up and going into the drop. Right now, when we build up and go into this drop, it feels like it's the same thing. They don't feel like separate sections with different energy levels. And that's really the direction we want to be going towards, is a high energy in the drop. Build up is building that energy, and then boom, we hit it at the drop. That's real important. Otherwise, you would not want to just add like all these kicks going all fast like this. You want to be only have these super repetitive drums when we're building up tension and trying to release the tension. Boom, at the drop. Go crazy. Cool. Easy. Let me know if you need help with any of that. Hit me up in Discord or IG. We have a song that I actually like a lot coming up next, because when I was a young lad figuring out what hip hop was, this song came on a lot. And I think when I got my first girlfriend, me and her were bumping it in the 4th grade, just bumping this song. What was that, like 04 or something? 04, 05, 03 or something? Let's get it. Scary Larry Flip. T.I. Whatever you like. Let's see it. You can have whatever you like. Alright, cool. I'm not too sure if those vocals are perfectly on key, on time. I mean, not on time, but on key, pitched right, pitch correctly transposed. So you want to double check, make sure all the pitching is proper and perfect. That's going to be really important when trying to harmonize with the song that you made, basically. So like, let's listen to when it starts to come in here. It sounds really good, by the way. This intro is crazy. Super vibes. Vibed out. Now, you also hear, like, as it starts to filter in, some static comes up. It almost sounds like staticky white noise. So you're gonna want to make sure that none of that is audible. We don't want to be able to hear any of that static. You want to be super clean when doing those filters. Resonance is usually what causes that. Like, see, when the vocals are playing during this, it doesn't sound like it's perfectly in key. All right, cool. Also, this overall song sounds very long, and it shouldn't sound long. It should feel like as soon as we're done, we basically want more, you know? And it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it just continues to almost loop over and over again. So we're going to double check the structure and what's going on here. Yeah, this can't happen here. So basically, all the phrases sound exactly the same. So basically, the energy will lower as we progress through the drop. Now, these sections, we're losing sub here. So it's important that the sub bass is playing. It's like not playing here. So like these mistakes, they just can't happen. We got to make sure that the bass is playing with these basses as well. It's real important. That's going to add a lot of energy, power. And then this second drop, we got more yoys going on. That's nice. Cool. So when these are playing, they're just kind of looping back and forth. We need some type of call and response structure. It's just the same bass playing. We need there to be like movement between different basses. So remember, 4 bars, call, response, fill. Call goes from the beginning to the 0.3, which is the first snare. That'll be a sound. Then it goes response. And then at the last snare of the 4-bar phrase, that's the fill. And it is all moving with the snare. Remember, we're dancing to the rhythm of the song, which is directed by that snare, that boom. Remember, that's what we're headbanging to. So everything has to flow around that. And then for energy and repetition, we want to make sure it's not the same bass. Otherwise, good idea, man. You definitely want to keep working on this idea, implement what I told you. It's going to help a lot. You know what it is. All right, cool. So next we have Buckshot by, let's see, Dreams. Very nice. Let's get it. Nice. That guitar and the intro and the outro feels crazy. Very nice. I like that idea. This is good. There is a lot of things that need to be worked on in this, though, unfortunately. There is some sections that are very hard to listen to because it gets super repetitive. You can't just repeat something over and over again. That's not music. That's just like a loop, you know? Maybe like for a sample pack, you're previewing a sample pack. Maybe you can do that. But when we're making music, we have to make people dance. This is EDM, electronic dance music. We're not making just regular electronic music. If you are, then this should be structured differently as well and be less crazy. But I'm pretty sure you're making EDM. So we got to make people dance with the call response fill. 4 bars, call response fill. And then, where is it? Oh, yes, this section. So when we're, this is a pretty decent bass here. Nice lasery, cool little pitch thing on the wide. That may need to be turned down, what's happening on the sides, but the overall note is just repeating over and over again. Usually in like rhythm, we'll be using pitch bends to go up and down and move throughout the notes so that it can feel unique and give it rhythm and groove. This becomes really repetitive and there's just not much movement, you know, not much dance going on here. Very low energy because of that. And we really need the opposite. We want high energy. We want people to be dancing to this stuff as hard as possible. Watch my latest Samplifier rhythm tutorial and you can see how I do the pitch bends. And then you'll be implementing that. That'll be really helpful. And then, let's see here. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of these just start to get repetitive over time. So make sure call response fill, you're working on a lot. And then in sections like this where you're transitioning to this, there has to be some type of flow into it. This is real abrupt here. It kind of just stops at a brick wall. We need it to like flow and transition, fills and different washouts. There's like effects, tricks that you can do to help with this. So yeah, good job, man. I like the guitar. I like the idea. Just definitely work on the flow and getting energy levels as high as possible. That's how to get it done. That's how to get it done. Up next, we got Billy with Folk. Okay, and actually, I'm going to go use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Folk. All right, awesome. Let's get into Billy's Folk. Let's go. Dreams, I'm down, dude. Gotta do some massive stuff.
6 feet under.
I've done one.
Should we fuck them? Yeah, man, funny thing is I actually am. thing is, I actually am. Under, man try jumping the ring, actually fucked up. Yeah man, funny thing is I actually am.
Alrighty. Billy coming in pretty hot with folk. Billy coming in with that tear out ting. Man, that was pretty heavy. To be honest. It was mixed pretty well. It was loud, clean, sounded pretty good. There are some issues though that kind of lowered the energy levels and it kind of felt, I guess, less professional, I guess you would say. Like halfway through, it kind of seems like we're just keeping the same tone of basses, same rhythms. It doesn't feel like it's changing up too much. It starts to change up a lot in the second drop. And I just really think that if you were to do these bigger changes halfway through the first drop and then maybe go back and forth that way, it would feel more complete and a lot heavier. And then the second drop, you can kind of make similar to the first, but then start changing up all kinds of different things to make the second drop unique by itself. And I think that would be cool. Also, these transitions from like the drop to these breakdowns are extremely abrupt as well. There should be some type of transition moment, like a fill before here, washouts that glue these phrases together. Maybe something happens here differently. But right now it just feels like you just stopped the song completely and then started a whole new thing, which doesn't feel too right. You want to make sure that is transitioning and flowing into the next phrase. Also, these vocals,
funny thing is
they're good, you know, but I'm telling you, these are used a lot and I hear them a lot. And just because they've been used once successfully doesn't mean that they'll be able to be used all the time forever, because they start to lose its value the more people start to use them. So like when I listen to it, I mean, it's just, it makes your song not as unique as it could be. It makes it literally like in a box with all the other songs that use this pre-drop, because remember, these pre-drops and these vocals in between these phrases are super important. They add a lot of energy, flavor, and style to your song. So for it to be happening very often throughout this song, you know, it's definitely going to be put in that box. And I just think that as artists, you guys should be finding new, cool, unique things that have never been done so that people can, you know, start copying you. That's the goal. For sure. But good job, Billy. Killing the game. Heavy tearout. Sounding good. Up next, Anti-Magic by Rao. Let's get it. All right, cool. Nice. That's Rao with Anti-Magic. Cool. So I can see, I mean, just listening to this, it kind of shows me what kind of level that you're at, where you're producing from. And it's important that when you're at this level, you want to start really focusing on layering your sounds. When you start to layer basses on top of each other, they become more powerful and they sound awesome. And as long as you know a little bit of music theory, like one scale, like D minor, for example, you'll know how to layer and create perfect harmony and create these awesome layer stacks. Right now, because there's a lack of layering, they sound very small and almost tiny. And I'm happy that you're able to put something together that resembles kind of a drop, but we want to make sure that these sounds, first off, are big enough and loud enough. They want to be pushed with compression so that they start becoming loud. And then you also want to layer multiple tracks on top of each other so that they become powerful. And then most importantly, we want to make sure that there's like dynamic shifts. So the build up, the pre-drop, and then the drop. These are really important sections of an EDM song, and they're there for a reason. The build up adds the energy. It has to be a little bit different than the drop. And then the pre-drop makes it go silent almost. And then boom, we get hit with the drop. And that's what makes it feel impactful. Right now, because we don't really have that, it doesn't feel like there's much energy, because it doesn't feel like there's not a drop. We want to make sure that there's a definitive drop in the mix. We want that tension to build and then boom, release it. And you hear you're like rising it up right here. We're expecting like a pretty big drop. But when we get hit, all of our sounds are really small, and comparatively in volume and in gain and amplitude, they're very low. And that makes the buildup feel like it was heavier and more intense than your actual drop. And that's also a problem. So kicks, snares, hi-hats, make sure you get really good samples. They need to be loud and clean. And then, of course, the layering for your basses, you got to do too. That's how you get it done. I think that's about it. Yeah, and just hit me up if you need help. I do lessons 1v1 as well. Discord, Instagram. Let me know if you have any questions. Up next, we have Higher.exe by Execution. Let's go. Run it.
Cause you're the only one that makes my heart sing. I know that our love, it's not a fleeting thing. When I'm with you, time flies by. I'm living the life that felt this high.
All right, very nice. Execution coming in hot with some big tearout tangs. Higher.exe. Very cool. Honestly, nice sound design. When we get into the first drop here, it sounds almost funky. You know, it doesn't feel like there's too much flow and structure compared to the second drop where there's like obviously like strong danceable groove. But with this one, it kind of feels like it's all over the place and it's harder to dance to. So I would definitely look into that. We want to be able to move and get as much energy as possible. So like, we're not able to dance in full time here. Like we can't dance in 140, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We're dancing half, which is 70, because of how these basses are moving. Like if we try to do 1, 2, 3, 4, we're off time. So we have to do like this to be able to give those basses room to be on time, which is crazy. So just remember, like people would be dancing half the intended speed of your song. And that is something you don't want compared to this where we're dancing faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a noticeable difference in energy because obviously we're dancing in 140 compared to 70. So don't accidentally make your song in halftime. That's what you did for the first drop. And it's a very common issue. So make sure you double check those things. We got to be dancing in full time. And then the vocals here, they kind of sound like out of key in like very small sections, but then it sounds like really good in other sections. So you got to make sure you check every single little sample and make sure it's perfect, because we don't want the vocal to be going perfect and then slightly get out of funk. Yeah, like when it's singing with the ARP, they're just like on different frequencies, so it just feels kind of weird. Definitely want to make sure when someone's singing, they're in perfect harmony with that ARP and the harmony. Thank you. What was that? Who just did that? Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate you. You are, oh dude, that's 40 bits. Beat you up. Let's go. Wait, no. Yo. Oh my gosh, dude, I don't even know what's going on. This thing is, Twitch is tripping, dog. Whoever followed, thank you. I appreciate you. You the man. Or woman. Sorry. You that one. Let's go. Oh, there it goes. Lays E Music. Shout out. Big time. All right. Let's go on and continue. Yeah, so obviously second drop, amazing. I've been hard to this. So make more of the song like the second drop, basically. High energy for the first drop as well. And then, like I said, double check those vocals are perfect. Oh my gosh, someone just hit it again. Thank you for the follow. You are off the chain. Who just did the follow? DJ Buckethead, let's go. Thank you. Man, you guys are like so nice. You guys are like so nice people. Thank you. All right. Good job execution. Killing the game. Up next, Espen with Reborn V2. Dude, check out this cover art real quick. We have to appreciate this. Whoa. That looks crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Espen, Reborn, V2. Boom. There we go. We got some big, some big tearout things in here. That was kind of crazy. Honestly, it's hard to get close to Murata's like energy, and I guess not even the energy, but more the space. Like the amount of reverb and like controlled space that Murata does is very difficult, and you kind of got close to that controlled space. We also had a pretty decent mix until it started getting in some sections where it started getting too loud. Like at the beginning of your drop, for example, we would keep a nice steady -3, but then we start adding extra sounds in later phrases and it gets close to -1, and it just gets scary. So, I mean, that can easily be fixed with your clippers and your limiters like Pro L or JST clip, G clip. That's going to help the most. You want to make sure those levels are down, measure your levels. Don't get past -3. You can stay from -4, -3. That's a sweet spot, boy. That's a sweet spot for you, for tearout, not for everyone, but for him. Yes. So, also, the call and response and the flow that you're doing is nice. Like there's a lot of movement. I'm able to dance. There's a lot of energy. That's really good. I'm impressed. I'm very happy that you're able to do that. You just want to make sure that you're not, because it's really loud, but at the same time, there's a lot of frequencies that are ear piercing that are really loud. So as a mixing and mastering engineer, it's your job to make sure to turn down those ear piercing frequencies so that when you're playing at -3, people are able to still enjoy it and not get hurt by the frequencies. Remember, they blow our ear drums eventually and give us tinnitus because we have little hair follicles in our ears. Basically, they're tiny little micro hairs and they get damaged. Unfortunately, there's no cure yet. But I'll find one. Don't worry. Good job though. Espen Reborn V2. Nice. Up next is WIP number 7. Away From Me by Am I Dead. Check out the cover art. Killing it. Anime schools. You'd love to see it. Anthony, which one's yours, dog? Is this you, DJ? Please get the cure for me. Please get the cure. Oh, okay, cool. Anthony, all right, I got you, dude. Yeah, yours was a broken link earlier, so yeah, don't worry, man. We got you in here. Get you downloaded real quick. So, tinnitus, I hear, can be healed by frequency because frequencies cancel out frequencies. So technically, we can find the vibrating frequency to the ringing in our ear and cancel it out and like practice. So yeah, it'll get down sometimes. I'll put the Discord link right now in the chat. There you go. All right, guys. Submit live, #live WIP feedback. This is where you put new tracks. And they'll be for next week's stream. Right now, I'm going to get Isonades in here real quick because he was the first submission, but his link was broken. So we're going to get this back in here. And we'll play him. We'll play him after Am I Dead? Cool. All right, guys. So on Am I Dead, Away From Me, WIP. You know what it is. This is my friend that I nicknamed Trini. And I saw him at Lost Lands last year, and we had a very fun time. I'm probably going to see him again. Hopefully I can see all you guys at Lost Lands, honestly. We're about to get down. So, yeah. Am I Dead? Right here, WIP number 7. Let's run it.
Back on all the days you took the breath away from me. It's like I'm falling
CDJs. Yes. Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. Ooh. That felt good. Chords at the end was pretty sick. I mean, like the whole vibe from going like melodic and good vocals to the metal to this transition was just pretty impressive. I like how we washed it out and then rides. It's like very, you know, what a rock band would do. It's cool. Unfortunately, though, the metal drums at the beginning are very weak, very low. They need to be layered. They need to be processed. Add drum bus, add compression. You want to get these things beefy. That double bass feels so small, you know, it's a little tiny double bass. He's doing his best out there. So yeah, make sure you get those stacked up like big, baby. That's a mojo hypnotic shagalicious, dog. And then the compression in the mix. So when we're listening, we can turn it up a lot and then things start to come out and shine, right? But when we're listening at a lower volume, it's almost like it starts to sound like it's in a bubble and it's muffled. And this is a common issue. This is usually when there's just not enough compression happening. It sounds like the lows, mids, and highs still have some room to be brought up, but it's not being pumped up. So use multiband dynamics. Don't use OTT. OTT will squash and kill the sound. You need clean, gentle compression, just like normal compression. OTT is way over the top. Multiband dynamics, 6 dBs on the input, a little bit of compression on the ratios on each band. And then, use that to start cleanly getting your sounds compressed in all bands, if you know what I'm saying. One of these, so while we're playing it here, it sounds like it gets off time, which should definitely not be happening. Let's double check. Oh, yep, found it. So like when you're warping vocals and stretching vocals, it's real important that we get them perfect on time. I honestly was about to make a video last night about this, about warping vocals for remixes, getting them perfect on time. Let me know what I should title that video, because I don't know what I should title it. But getting vocals perfectly on time in the grid and like having each syllable and each word perfectly is difficult to do, but I figured out the tricks and hacks to do it. I used to come into this issue while like accidentally like maybe warp one little sample too long. That's kind of what it sounds like right here, but it makes a difference. It actually disrupts the perfect rhythm that he's singing in this phrase, and that just like stops the time. It's just, we don't want that. So double check these vocals, unwarp them, rewarp them, find the original BPM, Make sure that you turn on the metronome and have the vocals perfect on the metronome, and then place them in your project. And then lastly, so in your first drop, shit's hard. It kind of sounds like it starts to get repetitive towards here, but then you switch it up, thankfully, and we don't get that. That rhythm starts to get repetitive, like we've heard it a lot. So when you start playing it again in the second drop, it feels like just lower energy, right? It doesn't feel like anything new is happening. The energy is not increasing in the second drop, but rather decreasing. And I think that's important to understand. We want there to be something new. We want to be surprised, basically, with what happens in the second drop. And you can easily do that by changing wavetable positions, starting to pitch up, pitch down, and getting a different tone and different color or vibe to the second drop. Otherwise, good job, man. Nice, complete piece of art. I really like how you're theming this. The melodic, the emotions, the metal. It's good. Very good blend. Yeah, keep that up. Good job, dude. Good job, dog. Am I Dead? WIP number 7. Away from me, up next, we got Rage. Rage has been submitting that heat lately. This is Flip. WIP. Let's get it done. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait. Hold up. Sorry, Rage. I forgot. We gotta get him in here. Let me find the cover art. Oh, there it is. All right, so this is Crudelitate. I don't know how to say words. I don't know English. By Isonade. He says, I've only been producer for 3 weeks. Be honest with me and thank you. I'll do that, massa. Let's go. Crudelitate demo boom. Okay, cool. Crudelitate. Very nice. We definitely need to work on a lot of different things here, but the overall foundation, you have some bones in here that can be worked on, and I think that's really good. You have it in you. We just need to make sure that we get everything structured to a point that you are like, for example, during the drop, you should be playing one scale, like D minor, F minor, one of those, for example. And during the drop, you're just hitting that root note. So if you're in D minor, you'd be hitting D like the whole time, just running it down. Make sure you're not using a key like A minor or G minor or something like that, because the sub will sound too high pitched, and we need it to sound low and deep and dark. So C sharp minor up to F sharp minor are the scales that you want to be working with. Right now, the sub sounds too high in octave. It sounds like we're not getting the deep, low sub that we feel in our chest. We're just getting like a sine wave that we can hear with our ears. There's a big difference. We don't want to hear the bass. We want to feel the bass. It's super important that we feel it and not just hear it. So make sure you're using headphones. I mean, if you were like on your MacBook speakers, it kind of sounds like this is bass, you know, because the upper harmonics are playing. And if you go to octave 0, literally nothing will play because the bass can't come out the MacBook speaker. So just make sure you're playing octave 0 on your sub all the time. That's its home. That's where he lives and breathes. And lastly, and most importantly, the same bass is playing over and over. And we really need movement we need to go back and forth between different basses within our drum. If we do the same bass over and over, the energy just starts to decrease over time, and it's not picking up in pace. It's not adding more energy, and people will be able to not dance to their highest potential. And that's what we need, you know? People need to be doing a little dancey. So basically, when the drop starts, there should be a call, like maybe a bass that's long and high pitched or something, or low pitched, and then this rhythm that you created starts to play, which is your main rhythm. And at the end, you can do a little fill with the vocal. 4-bar phrases, 4-bar sections. That's where all this call response fill will be happening. That's going to help a lot, because over time, the basses start to lose their value and lose their intensity. But we don't want that, man. We want those basses to be nice and happy and big and fantastic. But yeah, that's about it. Good job, Isonaid, with Crudelate a Demo. Rage. Flip is up next. It's a whip. Let's go ahead and see where the chips. Oh, I tried to rhyme. I failed. Go.
Gun finger, this a the gun finger. Gun finger, this a the gun finger. You coulda strong like a lion, quick like a ninja. Fit tear down your dance, bad man no linger. Gun finger, this a the gun finger. Gun finger, this a the gun finger. You coulda strong like a lion, quick like a ninja. Fit tear down your dance, bad man no linger. Walk one massive, walk one crew. Look on me face, you know see how it's screw. Ready for killer sound, boy, if him step on me shoe. Bumper ass cloud, bad man a pass through. Let me shout gun finger, you know what you feel. Put up your right hand and your left one, two, and then finger, this a the gun finger. Finger, this a the gun finger. You put a finger, this a the finger, this a the like a lion quick. No linger. Finger, this a the finger, this a the like a lion quick. No linger. Walk one massive, walk one crew. Look on me face, you know see how it's screw. Ready for killer sound, boy, if him step on me shoe. Bumper ass glad, bad man a pass through. When me shout gun finger, you know where you fit do. Put up your right hand and your left one, two, and then
Put up your hand.
and then put up your right hand and your left one, two, and then
Am I tripping? Okay, cool. That was heavy, man. That's a lot of, man, for you to do this fake out right here, it's a nothing. That's like, you blue balls. That's blue balls to the maximum, my boy. That is crazy. I'm really happy though that you're able to build this much energy, and it sounds nice. You know, the dynamic shifts here are great. The overall sound design is nice. The flow is nice. Their structure, it's good. The only thing that sounded like odd that could be removed to add more energy are the hats playing during the fill section. So let's check that. Yeah, so while he's saying the hats are still playing, and it's kind of like gluing these phrases together when really they should feel like a little separate. There should be a shift in dynamics, but the hats are just loud and, you know, demanding in the mix. So that's what's happening there. You definitely want to kill those hats during fills. That'll add more energy to the next phrases. But overall, this is pretty good, man. I love the reggae. It is kind of slow at the intro, you know. It sounds really good breaking down here. And yeah, these build-ups are empty. I'm sure you're working on that, but yeah, maybe work on the intro, making it a little bit less long and trying to structure it more for like EDM and also for the TikTok mindset, right? Everyone's attention spans are so low. So usually people will start skipping through the song just to get to the drop. And we want to prevent that. You want to make your intro so just hooked and amazing that they ain't gonna skip. Don't be skipping my tracks, mister. Good job, Rage. Coming in with Flip, Whip. Up next, we got music. Woohoo! ID. A random DW. Let's get it on. Join my Discord using this link. Music. Woohoo. That was honestly pretty insanity. And unfortunately, it's not insanity in the good way. It's insanity in very congested, very dissonant. Lots of frequencies that are ear piercing are building up. It is really hurting the ears. You know, there's some songs where I have to literally listen at the lowest possible volume because I have to protect my ears. They're already blown to begin with, so I gotta be really careful. So it's real obvious when things are too loud and things are loud enough. But there's a big problem here because we're at -6 LUFS, which means we're not even loud enough the song should be at -3 LUFS, but it feels like we're so much louder because of the specific frequencies that are playing. And most importantly, the frequencies are not playing in harmony, but they're creating tension and they're dissonant, and it's creating a lot of harsh tension. And if that tension isn't structured and well placed strategically, then it's going to be very hard to present it in a way that makes people dance or that sounds pleasant to the ear. It doesn't sound pleasant to the ear. It sounds real hurtful to the ear. It hurts the ear. So we got to be very careful with the frequencies that you're playing. EQ is meant to turn down the frequencies. So you just use your EQ, turn down the harsh frequencies. You guys can Google what are the ear piercing frequencies and it'll tell you. Fletcher-Munson curve as well is the Fletcher-Munson curve is how our ears perceive sound. Our ears hear frequencies at a different volume level. So we basically have to produce with that in mind. So look up the Fletcher-Munson curve as well, because that's going to help you mix even better. Because right now you're at the point where you're going to have to mix these sounds together so that they could be presented at full maximum energy. Know what I'm saying? Tear out tings, tear out tings. Oh yeah, and then two, when you're making it louder, so all those changes that we're going to do are going to make it quieter, but then you just add compression, not OTT, but just multiband dynamics, clean compression to turn it up and make things sound clear and bright while being loud at the same time. For sure. All right, cool. Next, Buy It Flip, Lil Uzi. Hey, oh, Lil Uzi. Oh, by Lazy. Run it.
Why that boy just wanna play with me? Like I don't keep that K on me.
Welcome, Meg Ryder.
Killing my combo so fatally.
Devil's Advocate, yes, every week, every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 6 p.m. Yeah. Okay.
Ballin' like I am Bojack. Oh, I don't fuck with rest. Yeah, fuck the rest. I wish I fucked you less. Nowadays, got a side chick on side chick. They keep hacking my iPhone. About to get a sidekick. I don't like to stand up. Told that girl to ride it. America me buy it. Go yard, buy it.
Buy it. Oh yeah, buy it. Buy it. Go yard, buy it. I got it. Buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it.
You need some try. Buy it. Side chick on side chick. Oh, that girl don't ride it.
All right, cool. Nice. Good job, Lazy. That actually felt pretty good. Got Lil Uzi just off the chain, you know, man. That voice puts you into a different atmosphere, a different vibe. It's a voice that's totally unique. So adding it to something melodic like this feels good. You add some wubbies in here. The pre-drops need to be more silent. It's almost like the build-up is being extended into the pre-drop, and we just need there to be a nice dynamic shift here. Same thing with this. The vocals are playing through the pre-drop. So those vocals can't be playing. We need something to be different for the pre-drop. You have a lot of fills that you're using, so use those little Uzi fills. And the sub, so hear how the sub is going fast, but the bass is not going fast. Like, those are pretty big issues. You want to make sure that's never happening. The sub should always be following the bass. And on top of that, the sub is weak. It feels very small and tiny in the mix. So you want to pump that sub up and make sure that it's fat and as loud or even louder than the actual the synth. And with the synth, it sounds like there's a lot of mids, but not really any high frequencies. All the high frequencies come from the hi-hat. So make sure to make a high frequency layer for the basses, and then the hats are going too fast. So like there's a considerable, like you're trying to change the flow right here. It's like whoop, boop. So the hats should not play through that. They need to be turned off. Maybe one hat to set it off, mute them, and then the hats start when the snare hits. Boom. So like all these hats, they're messing up the flow bad, and we need that for the movement and the energy. So keep that in mind. Get those cleaned up. Otherwise, good job, dude. Buy it. Next, we got WIP 3 by Bill the Producer 98. Let's get it done for the get done. Ooh, sorry.
This is exclusive.
Nice. That's pretty heavy. I like the sound design. We got some nice crunchiness. The flow and rhythm feels a bit odd, but overall I like this idea. When it starts going dun 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 dun, that bounce, it just feels unnatural, you know, and it happens too fast at the beginning of the drop.
This is exclusive.
Like, we just need that to be quarter note. Like, you're teasing quarter note here. So we're getting ready to dance to this speed, but then you switch up the speed on us. And that just lowers the energy significantly. So you got to remember, if you're teasing quarter note, drop quarter note. Then, after we play the quarter note, then you switch into this sick groove here. The groove is good, it just happens too fast. We got to save this for a later phrase. Kind of like how you did it here. Like, the first drop should almost sound like this. But you got to let that quarter note flow for a little bit. Remember, we waited the whole drop for that quarter note flow. So let it flow at least 4 bars, then start switching it up. Every 4 bars should be like your switch up sections.
Is exclusive.
I like the pre-drop though. Yeah, this is nice. Good job, dude. Heavy, rhythmy, dubstep. You guys know what's good. Thank you for coming, everybody. I appreciate it. If you want to rewatch the stream, go to my YouTube. It'll be right there. You can play back anything you need. Upload your song for the future in my Discord. You know what it is. And please have a great day. Keep producing bangers. You already know. Bye, guys. Later. Peace.